Imagine you can enter any house and convince the people living there to make your favorite food. You just sit there and eat like a king while other people prepare and serve you delicious meals. Ingredients are on the house. You don't have to work another day in your life. All you need is to bring the recipe. This is exactly what the bacteria I study do. Agrobacteria, here they are. Agro, that's how we call them, cause crown gall disease, tumors in plants, and what's inside the tumor is the real phenomena. Like all of us, bacteria eat. Most bacteria absorb sugars and nutrients from the environment, but agro have the special treat, opines. These are high energy compounds, rich in carbon and nitrogen. It's actually the bacterial equivalent for healthy and delicious. Opines can be found in some sea animals. Well, agro are soil bacteria, so they have found a way to persuade plants to make this special food for them by introducing them with some of their own recipes from the cookbook of life, the genes to make this food. Each organism has a genome, the total of all its genes, and each gene is like a recipe for one item of all the items that form the organism, written in the language of DNA. Plants don't have the genes to make opines. Who do? The agro. But making this food requires a lot of energy and expensive ingredients, and the agro itself would rather not. Instead, it cuts these genes out of its own genome and pastes them into that of the plant. Now the plant has one cell that produces opines for the agro, and it has no way of knowing that these are foreign recipes. They're written in the same language of all the other genes. But one cell is very small, not a lot of food produced. If that cell that already has the agro food recipe would replicate like crazy and pass these genes to its children, these children will also produce opines, and that would be much better for the agro. This is also taken care of by inserting a plant growth hormone, and this is why we see these ugly galls. In fact, Agrobacterium is the only known living organism that can deliberately add genes to organisms that belong to a totally different kingdom. Now try telling me it's not the coolest bacteria ever. Let me show you how the whole thing works. Agro are extracellular pathogens. That means that they cannot enter the plant cell and do this cut and paste thing. So they inject this piece of DNA into the cell of the plant. All it needs now is to find a gap in the long string of DNA of the plant and insert this piece of DNA in there. Easy, right? Well, DNA is the organism's most valuable asset. As we said, it's the cookbook of life. Breaks in the DNA are not that common and very quickly fixed. Still, the agro finds its way. My question is, how? I went ahead to find whether agro cause breaks in the plant's DNA. I inject leaves with agro and then check the DNA of the plant for breaks using an assay called Comet assay. You can see why. What you see here is DNA from one cell, one plant cell, and all the tail of the comet is broken DNA, pieces of broken DNA. What I just found is that leaves that have been injected with agro have more breaks than the controls. I discovered that agro cause breaks in plants' DNA. Now I can tend to look for how it does that. Now, imagine you're in that house again, but now instead of having only one recipe, you have the recipes for every food, material, or object. In the lab, we can remove the opine and growth genes and replace them with the genes, with other genes. By this, we can give new features to plants without having them develop the tumors. For example, using agro, researchers have developed genetically modified tomato plants that are resistant to viral infections. This is very important for agriculture. Now you can all understand why agro is often referred to as nature's genetic engineer.